Thanks so much for tuning into your WeatherCurrent video update. Today is Wednesday, August 20th. Well, we've got scattered thunderstorms in the forecast this afternoon and evening, especially for areas south of I-20. The rest of the work week after today, the rest of the work week and the weekend looks drier. But by next week, rain chances are back, and we are potentially looking at a couple of cooler days next week as well, thanks to the arrival of a cold front. And in the tropics, we've got Hurricane Erin that continues to churn between the East Coast and the island of Bermuda, but there are two areas that the National Hurricane Center is watching aside from Erin that could potentially develop over the next week, and we'll talk about that coming up. Here closer to home, it's going to be a warm and humid afternoon, but I think a lot of places are going to get a little break from the heat, especially compared to the last couple of days. We've had widespread triple digits the last couple of days. This afternoon, probably more upper 90s versus the triple digits, but look at the scattering of rain and storms that we'll see develop by late afternoon into the early evening hours. These thunder showers will be possible all the way from the Permian Basin across I-35 and into East Texas, even some showers and storms possible across North Texas as well. But I think the higher coverage of rain later today is going to be south of I-20, mainly across parts of Central and East Texas. Most of this activity will wrap up once the sun goes down tonight. The severe weather risk for today is minimal. It's a 1 on a 1 to 5 scale for areas south of 20. Any storms will be capable of frequent lightning, but in this area, especially this afternoon and evening, a handful of storms could have some damaging wind gusts as well. We're talking gusts 45 to 60 miles per hour, but I expect that to be the exception rather than the rule. So just keep an eye on radar this afternoon, know what's going on around you later on today. Overall weather pattern really starts to change up as we get into the weekend and early next week. The heat high trucks it off to the west coast. It is completely out of our hair, and that opens the door for this upper level low near the Great Lakes to drop a pretty strong cold front, strong for this time of year, down into Texas by early next week. We expect this to start to work through the state on Monday. This is going to bring rain chances back into the forecast next week, but it's also going to have an effect on our temperatures through the weekend across the states. Our high temperatures will stay in the mid to upper 90s. But Monday into Tuesday, as that frontal boundary starts to move in, we're going to see temperatures drop. You're not going to be pulling out your jackets and your sweaters, but bottom line, I expect next week we're going to have at least a couple of days with high temperatures limited to the 80s. So that will be a nice change of pace for this time of year. And in the tropics, we will wrap up here. Hurricane Erin, as of Wednesday morning, August 20th, is a Category 2 hurricane that will continue to move northeast back into the open Atlantic over the next several days. But there are two areas kind of following in Erin's footsteps, if you will, that have medium odds of development over the next week. So the National Hurricane Center is watching these two areas. They could become our next named storms within the next couple of days. Still a long time away from knowing whether these could somehow impact the Gulf. That's something we'll keep you updated on. But if you have coastal interest, just make sure you're keeping a close eye on tropical forecasts. 7-day forecast for North Texas and DFW. Scattered storms today, and then the rest of the week, rainfall coverage is lower. We may squeeze out another thunder shower or two on Thursday, a stray shower here or there Friday, a dry weekend, and then early next week, that's when things pick back up again in terms of rain chances, and that's when we're also expecting to see our high temperatures drop a bit thanks to that cold front.